Welcome to the second Pinnacle talk, and they'll keep evolving along the way. So I thought about this long and hard about what to talk about. Sean knows, and it's hard to. So spend most of my time thinking about what I was going to talk about, meditate on it literally. Like my first thought was I'm going to go through. We're in this world where we're really trying to hone in on our thoughts and control them a little bit more. And I mean, so I
hope that's the topic.
I texted Bobby on Friday. So I was like, okay, I'm going to include Bobby in this. We were texting anyways, and I was like, hi Bobby, listen, let's this weekend, whenever we're put in a situation where we're basically we can feel our thoughts going in a direction that is contrary to where our unlimited power is, or where our intentions are, then we immediately recognize it and then transform our thoughts into back in tune with the vibration on our intentions. So I was like, cool. And then so he's like, awesome, I'll do that too. So I was like, cool, I'll be doing it with you. So we did that weekend. I almost texted you the next day, like, hey, don't forget what we're doing.
I remembered all weekend.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. So and it was a challenge this weekend. Holy smokes. I don't know what happened, but I was on edge all weekend. Like, I guess it was the thing where you ask for this opportunity, and I started getting presented with these opportunities left and right. It was unbelievable. People were cutting me off. I got into road rage for a second, like caught myself, and then instantly recognized it and went in a different direction. The kids, I mean, you name it, a lot going on, clutter. This time of the year, you start getting and you get rid of all the stuff. So anyways, I started recognizing all these thoughts, and it was really challenging this weekend. I'd done it before, and things went very smooth with it. So it just depends. Different times bring on different challenges. But for me, that's what it comes to. It comes to recognizing that. I talk to Bill all the time about it, but recognizing when you feel those thoughts coming on, and then it becomes a habit, and then you change your subconscious into your conscious mind. Or you change your conscious mind into your subconscious mind, and then you have new behaviors that start taking place. So, thoughts. So that's what I'm going to talk about. Thoughts. Big surprise. So, thoughts become things. It's been said many, many, many times. It's almost cliche. But when you take a step back and really think about it, think about it. Look at what we're doing. Bill bought that car. We all test drove it. That was the key example. He thought about it. We had an opportunity to test drive it. He test drove it. We acquired the feeling of what it was like very easily because you're driving it, which led instantly to creating that event to actually take place. So now the car's in his driveway. These shoes, same thing. I went and tried them on. She took us for all we're worth. Bought a bunch of shoes that day because we kept trying them on, kept buying them. And then Bill walks in and he started buying shoes. And but I thought I wanted it. We do these things based off of our feelings. So all of us today, we picked out some type of clothing that we thought about, and there was some type of a feeling with the clothing that we put on today because it's picture day. So whatever line of clothing we feel good in, we consciously thought about that, we tied it to a feeling, and then we put it on. And then here we are today. It was a thought, now we're wearing it. So the very, very real things. These are the world's 10 best inventions according to somebody. But a computer, an airplane, light bulb, phonograph, telephone, steam engine, printing press, compass, paper, and the World Wide Web. Those people had to have been crazy. I mean, to think of these things, every single one of these things, before they were ever there, people had to just look at them and say, that's obviously not going to happen. And these people did not accept any energy that was contrary to the unlimited power that was within them. and they just created it. They knew they could. They believed that, and they went for it. Depression. It can go either way. You can go this direction, or you can go that direction. It's not biased. It doesn't matter what feelings you put out into the universe. If you want to create something, or you could get easily tied into this. I mean, depression, that's a thing, and it's literally just a feeling, but we've created it into a thing. Now it's a thing. That's called depression, and it's when you feel like this. And people get diagnosed with it, apparently. All of these things, I mean, as far as you can see, each one of these, everything in this picture was created by a thought. One person had a thought. Each one of these buildings, every car that you see, all the houses in the background, and then every single individual office was created as a thought. We know that because yesterday I met with our furniture girl and the carpet person, and I walked in, they had a big display of one thing, and it was not what was in our mindset, so we transformed it more to like what we had in our vision. But for anybody to say that creating something, no matter what it is, even if it's not created now, is impossible or won't happen, is literally at this point preposterous. It's like, it sounds ridiculous for anybody to say that, you know. Mortgage companies, just to give you an idea, these are the top 40. I mean, 36 billion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to say we can't do 500 million in 2 years is embarrassing.
I saw everyone zoom in. You're not on there.
Many of these have not been in business for that long. I mean, some have been in business for 18 years, but some 10, some 5, some 3, some 2. Here's the next round of them. This is the top 75. 1 billion. 75 is 1 billion. Just to give you an idea, these are just
Well, that's just ridiculous.
people with the thought.
Where's 6 billion? What number is that? You have to go.
Top 40.
Yeah, it was. I'll go back to it, but
That's all right.
we'll pull it back up.
Here you go.
So, anyways, our thoughts become our reality. Is the point. Closely aware. Everything that we talked about. So, pop this up here real quick. So you want to be very conscious and aware of what you're thinking at all times, because it truly dictates your life. That's how it works. And then, as we start to think to ourselves, why wouldn't everybody just do this? I mean, people, if you look outside in the cars, and I mean, if you look in, so many people are miserable every day. Was 75% of the people hate their job, or some statistic like that. And you think this is ridiculous. I mean, if I could just control my life by my thoughts, then I would do this or I would do that. But when you think about it, if we went around and asked just everybody we bumped into, if they were, if they believed that whatever they thought, or thoughts become things, or what the case is, they might say yes. But if we asked them if they were consciously practicing it, I mean, everybody would say no. No, nobody is. We are right now, and I'm going to say we as the collective society is currently, we are subconsciously living based on what the billions of people who lived before us have put into place. So we woke up, and now we're going through those motions because those things are already put in place. To consciously think about it is like a brand new life. Everything starts over. I mean, our group talks about it constantly, and still, it's challenging. You got to constantly remind yourself. So somebody who doesn't have that type of awareness, No way. They're doing what the media says. They're living in their life, not realizing that they can control their thoughts when we have thousands of them a day. So it seems simple, but it's not. It requires practice. Steve Stanley. Most of you guys, many of you guys know Steve Stanley. He's Bill and I's father-in-law. And we've done some loans for him, so that's why you may know him. But when we meet with him, he mentions several times, like, yeah, and Tony Robbins, you know, people talk about Tony Robbins. He's like, I could be Tony Robbins. I mean, here's what you do. He says, get some goals. You know what I mean? Write them down. Do your goals. And then if you want to be happy, be happy. Be happy. It's like, see? There, pay me. Here. You know, and then, so he's like, that's his impression of Tony Robbins. But he mocks him, but it's pretty funny because that is what it comes down to. It does come down to, when you write your goals down, then you got to know what you want to even get there. If you don't know what you want, you can't get there. It's impossible. You're floating, you know? And Tony Robbins talks often about it. He's like, you know, I do talk about that a lot because you do need goals. And happiness is a mindset. It's your mind. Instantly, one way I was thinking to myself over the weekend is, well, how can I change it? What can I shift my thoughts to whenever something happens that's not in line with mine? What can I do that's like foolproof? It'll work every time. And for me, at this point, gratitude was the answer. So instantly, whenever I have one of those thoughts that's contrary to my intentions of my higher self, I instantly have thoughts of gratitude, and then it takes you out of it. If you're strong enough to say, I'll go with these thoughts instead, and then you go down those thoughts, and then literally you're not pissed anymore. You're in this world. But if I didn't consciously do that's a conscious effort. If I didn't consciously do that, things could happen. Different things could happen, which I've done many times in the past. So, want to be happy, be happy. And Tony Robbins always talks about, you know, yeah, I do talk about goals, I talk about all these things, but he says, and not only him, but many people, that you have to master those things. So, repetition is the mother of skill, and skill is the mother of mastery. So although it's like, oh, I already know how to do that. I already know how to shoot free throws. I already know how to dribble the ball. I mean, practice dribbling seems ridiculous. I've been dribbling since I was 2. But repetition is how you master it. So the same thing applies when your thoughts. It's got to be a daily ritual. You recognize instantly that it's contrary to your higher self, and then you flip the switch on the gratitude. And then you do it again consciously, and again consciously, and again consciously. And after you do it so many times consciously, now you have new subconscious behavior that takes place. And then you're working at a higher, your higher self starts to take form. So, and a lot of people have dabbled in it too, but have they persistently done it? You know, you could go so far. What was the analogy? Like you can drive in the pitch black all the way to California, and all you have is your headlights, and you can only see 200 feet in front of you. But if you stick to the plan, eventually you're going to make it to California. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean you're not going to get there. You just got to stick to the plan. Some people stop right before they get to the border, and they're like, gosh, I'm never going to get there. Driving in the dark for a day and a half. Turn around right before they get there. So, we all know that it takes persistent behavior. It's challenging, but what is it? Persistent imagination centered around the wish already being fulfilled is the key to all successful operations. So you can't just, we can't simply think it, we have to feel it. And then we have to feel it and act as if it already took place. It already happened, because if we keep it in the future, it'll always remain in the future. It'll always remain here, we'll keep walking and it's still here. But if we put ourselves and present ourselves as if we are in the moment, and we are in it, and it already took place, then we're there. Then the universe will start surrounding ourselves with it. So, let's see. constant reminders. That's what's good about having all of us around. We were able to do that for each other. So I want us to walk out of here with something like practical that we can put to use. So to get anywhere, we have to realize, or to start to practice this and put it in use, we have to realize what we want. And that takes like some thought. Next time you're on a train or whatever, or set some time aside, because it's easy to put that off. But if you put some good music on and really clear your mind, then you can start to focus on it. You can meditate on it. What do you really want? What are you trying to get? And you don't have to have it exactly right, because you got to be flexible too. So when you have something written down, you also got to remain flexible and know that I can change it if I need to. You don't want to change it because it's hard, because sometimes you got to burn the boats. But you want to change it if you find that it's not in line. So you just have to start somewhere. It's easy to say I'm not going to do it because I don't even really know if that's what I want. But start there, and you can always change it, be flexible. So the first step is meditate on what you want. Second thing, write it down and meditate on it daily. Also, be specific and read it several times a day without exception. So it's just what you do. Nikki's in the middle of a transformation. If she didn't consistently do the things that she wanted to do every day, it would not have happened. But she consistently did it. Adjust when needed. Stay flexible. And then this is along the line, because you want to make sure that we want to make sure everything in our life is in line with that, in line with our higher self on it. So recognize your body and the feelings, and when your body and feelings is going in a direction contrary to the limited power that is within each and every one of us, immediately recognize it and transform into what we do want to do, what is desired. This is absolutely key, and will become habitual subconscious behavior. So we're taking our subconscious that society is all living in right now, and we're changing it to our new subconscious behavior. Make it a nightly ritual. This is very important. I mean, arguably the most important. Make it a nightly ritual, and think very clearly about your list, and assume the feeling that it is already there. And do this consciously, and especially before going to sleep. Right before you go into your unconscious state. And then gratitude. That's what I use when I recognize myself going in another direction. I come back to gratitude. That helps tremendously. So this is like an easy blueprint that helps, that we can actually put to use.
That's great.
Old life, new life. So this is just to give you an idea on how I saw myself change. Was it hasn't been like a tremendously long time period. I don't think I've ever really been a totally negative person, but it's certainly I see the world differently. The world's the same, but things have different meaning to me, and there's a tremendous amount of significance in the little things that I see that I would not have recognized or gave any significance to in the past. I like people more. Conversations with strangers are more intriguing. There's a lot of opportunity in the world, and it starts jumping out at you constantly now. And so, oh, there it is. It's like if I want to become healthy, less opportunities to binge become presented in front of me. You know what I mean? If I am, people talk about The Secret and the law of attraction. If I'm skeptical, well, that, by definition, that what's going to happen is more opportunities for me to be skeptical will pop up. You know? But if I accept it, and I say, I believe that my thoughts do have the ability to change my life and others, then, and I want to bring somebody great into my life, which means I like get in shape, read books, I do all the things that align myself to make that happen, well, worst case scenario, you're smart and in shape and look good, and you're probably going to attract somebody that you want in your life. That's how it works. It starts putting these things in line for you. So I think tremendous amount of optimism has come into my life just by being aware of it. There's always the duality. So by knowing what you want, you know what you don't want, and you start to wean out the things you don't want, and the things you want start to appear everywhere. And if we're able to recognize them consciously, then we start accepting them into our lives. And say, oh, okay, abundance is everywhere. We're going through it right now. We got this unbelievable group of people here, and talk about gratitude. When I think of gratitude, I mean, I think of my family, sure, but honestly, I think of this group, like right off the bat. This is a tremendous journey that we're on right now, and when you think about taking responsibility for your thoughts, it's very strange to think that's a new concept. It's not new. These are 2,500-year-old concepts. But for me personally, to think taking responsibility for my thoughts is a new concept it's a strange way to think about it. But it is, because it does take a conscious effort to not get wrapped up into subconscious activity that was set by millions of people before me, or billions. So, let's see. So this is a couple nights ago. I was sitting with Christopher, and I talk to him about this stuff all the time. And he was like, I was talking to him, for right now in his life, it's easy to relate these things to like soccer and things like that. So I was talking to him about it, and I'm like, so when you go into these games and stuff, you gotta believe you can do this, or believe you can make this move, or believe you can score, believe you can make that move, and you gotta have the feeling of it that you already did it. And he said, well, what if I do, but somebody else on my team doesn't, and we win anyways? And I said, well, think about this. I go, what if every single person on your team believed that you guys would win every single game, always? Every single person truly believed it, and every single person truly had the feeling that you guys already did it as a group, and you guys already didn't. And he said, oh, good point. That's what he said. He goes, good point. And I was like, yeah, that's incredible. So it's easy to get out of it, but so I challenge us as a group, each one of us, if we can live in that state collectively and see what we're capable of doing, it would be a miraculous experience for each and every one of us, every day. And if we did it collectively, I mean, who knows? Who knows what that next chart would look like? And this is the ground floor of what we're doing here at Pinnacle. So thanks so much for your dedication. Thanks for coming here today. We'll wrap it up with that. And let's just, one thought at a time, stay conscious of it. All right, thank you. That'll do it.